A real feel for who Globallee is and what we want to message and what we want to represent out in the world. And a lot of that began with the foundation of the company, the hearts and minds that came together early to do this. And you're going to have an opportunity to meet most of them all today and have an opportunity to introduce them early to you so you can acknowledge who they are. We have our founder and CEO, Mark McKnight, and his wife, Nicole. We have our founder and president, Lamia Batai. Cousins. We have Chris Prey, our CFO, and if you can't tell by the smile on his face, he is excited for it, sir. And I need you to know this right up front. I love network marketing.
Yes, he does.
I've loved it for a long time. It still gives me chills to say it, because that's how I feel about it. And when it's done well, there's nothing like it. And I think you're going to get a sense for the guiding principles and the values of this company as we go through the next couple of days and why we want to be one of those standout life experiences, those standout brands, those people that will do the right thing in a difficult time. They'll still do the right thing for people. So having said all of that, it's my pleasure to announce this first part of the program before we go to a break. First, we're going to hear from our beloved Lamia.
And manufactured products for more than 100 different companies. Many of those companies are network marketing companies. And I have been around the world talking about natural ingredients, natural products. And so it really is my passion and the thing that I love. I owned my own manufacturing business that made a lot of great products. And I sold that business about 5 years ago. And as part of the sale of that company, I took a job with the acquiring company that was a specialist in raw materials. So I really had took a turn in my career, but it was fantastic. I worked for 20 years in contract manufacturing, then I got to work for about 4 years just in raw material processing and the sale of raw materials. And what I was able to learn from that, so I knew a lot about ingredients that worked because I would create a product and I would see the results. I'd go to meetings like this, I would speak and I could see anecdotally what really worked for people. But it was really, my big education was with on the raw material side of the business because I saw how far behind the marketplace is. The marketplace has tried to force feed consumers ideas about products, food products. And those huge food companies didn't understand dietary supplements at all, or the kind of natural, raw, whole grain, organic movement that's built up over the last 20 years. And so it was fascinating for me, focused on healthy raw materials, to be meeting with huge billion-dollar food companies who really didn't know why consumers didn't like their products anymore. And so all of my business related to my company and the raw material job that I had ended in 2018. And I had two very good friends in the industry. One was a recent friend, Lamia Batai, from Dubai. We met about 3 years ago. And every time she would come to America, she would frequently stop in Dallas to visit her brother, who was me. And she had company after company trying to recruit her as their master distributor. And every time she'd meet with me, she would say, Mark, we should have a company. we should have a company. And then I had another very good friend, Nader Kazan, from California. Nader had been a customer of mine for almost 12 years. Just a super, super individual. Nader was the one customer that I had that always cared more about me than he cared about our business relationship. And at the time, Lamia had been talking to me about this. The month Lamia started to have that inner voice speak to her was the month Nader started talking to me a bunch. And I came up with the idea, let's get Nader, Lamia, and me together. And we got together the end of July and early August of 2018. And that's where the idea of Globallee was hatched. And so we're very grateful to everybody who's been involved in the business. They're still trying to force feed a marketing story to the consumers. And I think what I learned with my career in the raw material space is that consumers don't want to be force-fed anything. They want to be a part of the process. And so when Lamia talks about what's in her heart and building a company like this, and I know what my passion is about products, it's building products like this. Because it all starts, from my perspective, with happy customers. If you have happy customers, then you can have a business.
Yeah. So
how do we get happy customers? We have to have great products. And all great products start with great ingredients. We are at the forefront of what is called the wellness economy. I'm going to step out here so I can see what slides I have, since I kind of forgot about that. Thank you. Oh, is this my... Okay. They've been signaling me. Okay, there we go. So we are in what's called the wellness economy. It is a huge business. I know we have a lot of doctors that are here in the audience today, and they have seen the same thing that I've seen. People are spending trillions of dollars in this economy all over the world. Look at some of these numbers. Wellness tourism. Over $600 billion is spent every year for people who are traveling for something related to wellness. Maybe it's going to visit some sort of a therapy spa in Hungary, or maybe it's going to some sort of a clinic in Thailand. People spend a lot of money traveling for wellness. Look at the healthy eating, nutrition, and weight loss, over $700 billion. We're going to accomplish it through happy customers. So we feel like we as a company, our job is to deliver great products. How do we deliver great products? We rely on a lot of my 25-year experience on what are the best natural ingredients in the world. But it also depends on me working closely with you, the leadership of the company, because you know a lot about these things too. You've been in the same type of industry for a long time. You have a lot of information. And so I believe just as strongly as Lamia believes in dreaming together and achieving that dream together, I believe the same thing in product development. And that's how we get happy customers. And I can't even tell you, the products that we have, I think, really do deliver on that. So you as an independent brand ambassador take these brands from the company and you introduce them to customers. And only if the products are great will it be a good experience. So we have to pay lots of attention to those ingredients, because if you use the best ingredients, you can create the best products. And if you create great products, then customers, for the most part, will be happy. And so the best raw materials make the best products make happy customers. Let's talk about the first product. Why did we roll out Taka as the first product? It's because I am a big believer in the functional beverage industry. There are more than 1 billion people every single day who wake up and spend money on something that they drink that either gives them energy, picks them up, gives them mental clarity, gives them a little shot to their immune system. There are 100 different types of these products, but the functional beverage industry is massive, and it's full of real connectivity. When somebody drinks something, there's a connection that they have to that product. And so the more people that you can get to drink Taka, the better off you're going to be as somebody building a business, because there's a strong consumer connection there. So the total beverage market, 1.9 trillion by 2021. That's, I referenced where I have that data. And the functional beverages is one subcategory in the total beverage market that is growing by double digits every year. So it is a huge business. At the center of the healthy eating and nutrition economy, 602 billion, functional beverages are right at the center of that. 1.5 to 2 billion people every day purchase some sort of a functional beverage, and this does include tea and coffee. Wow. But it is a massive amount of people who purchase these things. And things such as clean label is so important to brands. And, you know, it used to be that the name, the brand, controlled the marketplace. I worked with this fantastic guy for years and years, and he was a super salesman back in the 70s and controlled all the Velveeta sales in Texas. And he said Velveeta was so powerful that he could go to a grocery store, and if he wanted to introduce a new product, the grocery store had to say yes, or he wouldn't sell them Velveeta for that week. And so the grocery store was like the brand, that national food company had all the power. And then the whole market shifted to where instead of the national brand having the power, the store had the power. So stores like Walmart started to tell the national brands what to do, instead of the national brand telling the store what to do. And then something else happened that nobody could foresee. The customer started to tell the store what to do. Because now, more than ever before, consumers pick up products and they look at the ingredients and they make their buying decision based on the ingredients, not on the national brand or the brand recognition. It's a huge shift with billions and billions of revenue at stake, and most of the huge food companies are just beginning to understand what has happened. And so I look at it and I say, the same thing has happened in the MLM industry. The traditional model is somebody that's a manufacturer goes and pitches the MLM on an idea, the MLM says yes to it, then they hire a doctor, pay him $5,000 to get up on stage and give a little talk, and then the distributors are kind of force-fed that idea. And I feel like there is a shakeup in the MLM industry that is as profound as the shakeup in the grocery industry and the traditional national brand industry. And I feel like we're at the same crossroads. Billions and billions in revenue is at stake because we are going to be the one company that connects with consumers through transparency, through clean label, through connecting, letting our emeralds and our sapphires be involved in product development. And I just want you to kind of understand, you know, my passion for that. I've been in this industry for 25 years, and to me, trends are fascinating. But we are at the same inflection point in this consumer involvement, consumer education, the consumer being a part of the process. We are at the same beginning of that inflection point as companies were 30 years ago when they started talking about baby boomers. And there were many billion-dollar companies built on the concept of baby boomers. Yeah. And we are at that same inflection point. It's like right here, and it's going to go like this. And that is going to destroy almost all large food conglomerates. And it's also going to destroy companies that are still trying to force feed some sort of a sizzle marketing idea that doesn't have a lot of substance behind it. And so that's how we want to be different.
Love it.
Now, I told you, Leslie, I'll try and visit the booths tonight, and then I can talk endlessly about it. Eterno. Let me just take a minute and talk about Eterno, because Eterno has really been a life changer for me. As you know, I love functional beverages. I love health drinks. I've created many of them. I've probably created over 100 health drinks in my career. And I truly love that industry. But I have never created a product that fundamentally changed how the cells in my body feel as Eterno. It completely changed how I feel. And remember, many of you who are here with us knew it took me 5 months to get this product out. And when we finally got this key ingredient we'd been waiting on for 3 months, and we blended it up and we made the first Eterno, I was the person who took it. Nobody else in the company took Eterno before me. And I took it for a whole week because I'm like, I have got to try this. I mean, I had not made a product like this for 14 years, and I wanted to darn sure try it myself before I told it to anybody. So I took it for a week, and some of you remember that call that I did. It was unbelievable for me. I kept a journal. Day one, I slept deeply, but I woke up. My mind seemed to be awake, but my body was kind of groggy. And then I felt okay after about an hour, but I didn't work out that day. Day two, same thing, deep sleep, woke up, mind awake, body slightly groggy, and then I went to work out. And at the end of that workout, I felt like Superman. And that Superman feeling has stayed with me till today. So when I take Eterno at night and I work out in the morning, I feel like I am 20 years younger. So I know we've had reports back from some people where they've shown from their blood work that it's increased their GH. I love that kind of stuff, but I am much more interested in how I feel when I take a product. And I've taken so many products, I'm observant about that. And I love this product. I believe that even if only 1 out of 4 men feel like I feel when they take this, we are going to sell millions and millions of bottles of Eterno. I feel fantastic. In fact, who was it that came into the office about 3 weeks after I started taking Eterno? And they were like, just said, you look like you've completely changed. And I said, I feel like I've completely changed. Eterno works through 3 principles. And it's, to me, very different. I've not seen a product in the marketplace like this. Everybody knows that between the age of 20 and 30, your growth hormone starts to decline, your natural production of growth hormone. What I've always thought, and when I worked in this space 14 years ago, I thought was, if it's a decline, then it is almost always related to a lack of production. But what I learned in that 5-6 month time period of getting ready to launch Eterno is that there is as much science about production of GH as there is about suppression of GH. And so it's important for you to understand this, especially practitioners that are here, that Eterno has 3 types of ingredients. First, it has primarily amino acids that support production. They are natural amino acids. They're not overdose of amino acids. It's a modest but healthy amount of amino acids. That supports production. But as important, or more important, is that it has key minerals, the zinc and the magnesium and the vitamin B6, that have clinical studies showing that those ingredients decrease the suppression when your body releases GH into the bloodstream. And that's because it decreases something that accumulates as we grow older, called 5-alpha reductase. So first, it has ingredients that support the production. Second, it has ingredients that reduce the suppression. And I believe that's where the amazing benefits of Eterno are coming from. alone. Like it's carrying 60% of the load of the results of the product. And third, it has ingredients that support a deep, restful sleep. And so that is like a three-pronged approach to tackling the issues of growth hormone decline. And I think it's the three-pronged approach that are creating these phenomenal results. But I will tell you, I have made somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 products in my career. I have never made a product that made the cells in my body feel as different from 1 month to the next as this product right here. So I am completely in love with Big Dark.
Percent goes in to replenish our product and purchase new products, new raw materials, and 25% is set aside for operations. Now, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience in this industry, but from stories I've heard and from stories I've heard from businesses in other industries, where businesses get in trouble is when they start to fudge the lines of where the money needs to go to serve the business in the most important way. Because it's easy to say, hey, we want to build a new factory, we want to put in some new machinery, we want to hire a bunch of staff. Where are we going to get the money? Well, let's just take some from the top. But then what happens when you guys go out and kill it after this event, and we've got to pay commissions? We don't have the cash. So it's simple. It's a very simple formula, but the discipline can be hard for a lot of people. But what I want to make sure you guys come away knowing is that this is how we run our business, and we are disciplined in this way. And then I'll kind of give you my take on how I think of it. The idea of blue ocean, red ocean is that competitive environments, whether you're talking about an industry, whether you're talking about kind of a product group, or or you're talking about your business as an IBA here at Globallee, you can think of it in two separate ways. There are red oceans, where you're competing in an existing market space, you are trying to beat the competition, you are exploiting existing demand, that existing is the key word, and you're having to make the value cost trade-off. So to compete in a crowded, it's called red ocean because it's this idea of like a bunch of sharks swimming around and they're all biting each other and it's just blood in the water, right? And in order to compete in that environment, you have to often trade, so you're chasing your margins lower and lower and lower and lower because the space is so crowded. And you're having to make that choice between differentiation and low cost. I either have to differentiate and come up with a product that nobody else has and charge a lot of money for it, or I have to keep trimming my margins and margins and margins. So that's the only two ways you can consider adding value. A blue ocean would be the opposite. You're creating an uncontested market space. And I'll give some examples of these. You're making the competition irrelevant. So you're not beating the competition, you're moving into a space where there isn't. You're not fighting that competition. You're creating and capturing new demand. You're breaking this idea of the value cost trade-off and differentiation or low cost, and you're able to provide a differentiated product at a low cost. So you're providing value in both of those ways. Here's some ideas. So these blue ocean companies are companies that go into a space and they redefine what it means, right? Cirque du Soleil. Where do you think we sit? Can you click for me back there? More. So we go back to this and how important it is. Because in a crowded space, there are still blue oceans to be found. Those are going to be found primarily in our product leadership. Are we committed to looking for those product spaces that are already crowded in the marketplace, right? We're going to find those blue oceans in the customer intimacy, and I'm going to add culture to that. How do we create a culture that's so different that we're not trying to beat the competition, we're just moving into a space where nobody else is? The other challenge with red ocean and blue ocean, and this is when I say this is how I like to think of it. Anytime you move into a blue ocean, you have that new idea. You come out with you invent the Uber or the we. What happens? People see it, right? So those blue oceans, over time, they tend to shift over to the red ocean. So I came from a company that said, we're okay competing in the red ocean. We're going to do both. We'll look for those new opportunities, but we're also not afraid to wade into the water with operational excellence and provide the best level of customer service, provide the best level of operational excellence, provide the best level of support that you're going to find anywhere else. Do things that nobody else are doing so we can play and swim in both of these waters. So that's my vision for the operations of Global. We've got our merchant account. We still weren't paying commissions yet, right? So I'm excited to say we're doing that now. Some of these minimum things are falling into place and we're moving in many areas into operational excellence. I'm excited to come back 6 months from now, a year from now, and talk about how we're doing things that nobody else is doing. So that's all I have.
Well, I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I feel like I've gotten to know many of you digitally, so it's great to see you here in person and get to know you face to face. We are so excited. Our marketing department is growing and evolving, and like Chris mentioned, we're really trying to move into that operational excellence, especially with marketing, so we can provide each of you with tools you need and can use to succeed, to understand the products, to share the products with other people. So, since we're on the topic of marketing, I want everyone to stand up. And this is only for event attendees. So make sure you go to the Globallee store. It's just down at the end of the hall this way. And you purchase products. If we run out of products here, you can purchase them online and get shipping for free by being an event attendee. So as leaders in Globallee, you get first access to this. So make sure you take advantage of it. This will open up to everyone tonight when the expo starts this evening. And so one more little quick marketing announcement, but this one isn't little. It's something we've been working on for the past 6 months or so. We really, as a marketing department, wanted to capture the essence of leadership. Leadership that's here in this room, leadership that exists on the corporate side, leadership in terms of product integrity. And so we have been working very hard to create the inaugural edition, the first ever, Globallee Live magazine. So this is
hairs and might be the old sages, one of the, that understand what's important in life. And I just want to talk about that for a minute, because this is key. And I think this is one of the components that are already in the works for us by those of you that made it here. Okay, there were twice as many of you that RSVP'd and reserved for this meeting of team leaders and senior team leaders and emeralds that showed up. Okay, you guys all know that. You've been in this industry. For those of you that knew, this is just how it happens, right? Half the people you expect to do anything, and half of those people ever do what they say they're doing. But what we found in you and the quality of leadership that's come together early is this great unity, in this great like-mindedness, and this great ideal of it's not about me, it's about Globallee. It's about my team. It's about what I can do for others. That's what will take us to these heights. In this room is extraordinary. The talent levels, the confidence that they have in each other, and the confidence and the trust that we hope you'll build, that we'll do the things that we'll say we'll do on the back end, so that you can throw all in one more time in network marketing, is a relationship that we all have to have together. But it's a relationship that you have to translate to your teams as well. You will always hear me say, my role here is to protect the culture. It might be titled Chief Sales Officer, and you're liaison to corporate, or I'm in the field and in the trenches with you. But it's really to protect the culture, and we only do that together. So let's make sure we're inviting people in that we want to work with, that we want involved in our lives, that we want sharing special experiences and events around the world. I promise you right now, you won't last, let alone in Globallee, but you won't last in network marketing very long if it's just about a paycheck. You will move from company to company to company for the rest of your network marketing career. But if you love people and you love what you do and you're passionate about what the product's done for your life or someone close to you, and you can translate and communicate that in ways that is meaningful, that's all you have to do in this business. Some of you are worried about being a public speaker or a presenter or a comp plan expert or any of that. None of that is required to succeed in this industry. None of that. It's how you love on somebody and they love you back for the changes you've given them in their lives.
Amen.
And it doesn't matter if it's financial, it doesn't matter if it's health. Sometimes it's going to be emotional, spiritual, some of those things where they're really hurting.
Yeah.
And they can find community in this company that will make a difference. That's a blue ocean you've got. Or I close my eyes tonight, that's going to make a difference. Some of you, it's X number of presentations. It just is, because that's a vehicle that you can use to help people. For others, it's reaching out to somebody that's thinking about quitting because every single person they've talked to has told them no. You know how many sales jobs I've had where every single person I talked to told me no for 3 to 6 months? And in the last 6 months of the year, I made more income than anybody on the team in the prior year. It's helping people stick to something that you know inside is right until they feel it themselves. Now there's a difference there, and I want you to be careful, and then I'll just wrap up here. There's a difference between trying to make somebody want what you want and helping somebody figure out what they want.
That's good.
And then helping them for that. You can have a testimony of the product. You can tell people how it's changed your life. You can share it, but you don't push it. You don't put quotas on people. They don't need to hear a quota. You got to have X number by the end of the month. You help people figure out what they want and then help them get there. And those wants change over time. They might want to be emerald in record-setting time in the company because it's freed them up at a level of low esteem that changes them. They may want it because they need it to break through in a desperate situation in their home. You don't know, but help them get what they want. Now, as leaders this early in a company, there's a couple of things that are critical in my mind for you to remember, and those are these. First of all, you gotta lead by example. You gotta live a life of joy, of happiness, of something that they see that instinctively they want, that's important to them. I want what he has. That smile on his face, I gotta figure out what's behind the energy that they have. I gotta know what that is. You don't need to sell it on a t-shirt or, on a sign on your car or anything like that. They gotta see it instinctively. You gotta help manage expectations early. This is not easy. Network marketing is never easy. It's one of the hardest things to do. Sales alone. How many of you in here, you've heard Mark and you've heard Chris and others, for me, the first 20 years of my life were all commission sales. I didn't eat if I didn't sell, those kind of things. How many of you think that it's easy in network marketing the first 90 days for somebody that's never done it before? Crap, you're working for 10 cents an hour. It's no wonder your family goes, are you nuts? So you gotta set expectations. You gotta set reality. You gotta tell them up front it's gonna kick your butt. 6 months, a year from now, you're gonna say this is the greatest thing ever. And 2 years from now, you're gonna go, who can I bless with this amazing place in my life?
It's true.
Lamia talks about it. She killed it for a couple of years. She made more money than, we could ever hope to deal with in our lives in a very short period of time after some hard work. And now she wants everyone to have that kind of hope and opportunity. You manage expectations, it's tough, but it's worth it. You curtail negativity. How many of you are spending half of your time, 60% of your time with people that are complaining? Not working, can't get anybody to show up, oh man, the product, whatever, the taste of this stuff, oh my gosh. How many of you are spending your time there? Somebody told me to stop listening to any of that stuff and just go have some fun. And I took that wisdom to heart, and it makes all the difference in the world. It's a joy to take everybody's call. I don't look at the call and go, oh, crap. No, I don't, So curtail negativity and keep your promises. There's not too many people in the world today that keep promises. They have good intentions, but to do the right thing long after you committed in the spirit of when you committed to someone that you would do something. It's long after that you fulfill that commitment or the promise that demonstrates your true integrity.
Implicating that, I was having a conversation with my friend Jan, and I'm like, I'm going to shift my way of recruiting people, because if somebody doesn't, if you're signing people up in your business and they can't sign up to people, they probably should have been a preferred customer, because there's a lot of frustration, right, when you're signing up someone and you're like, I can't get them to do anything. Well, you probably kind of talked them into the business. Maybe you should have signed them up as a defensive agency for my team. So if the goal is to become a team leader in your first 21 days, you really want to do that, because that's creating the standard. We have to create the standard for our team. And everyone in this room is leaders, because that's why you're at the leadership meeting. So you have to set the standard. My goal, and I know Tara too, we're very focused on our goals, and she's going to talk on that tomorrow. But be the trendsetter, be the leader for your team, and set the standard. My standard was to create that emerald story in my first month, so that was the standard. You know, that's what's possible. I know Laura hit it super, super fast too, and so you're creating a culture of hitting emerald so fast and showing your team that this is possible to do this very quickly. It's not something that so we're not waiting, we're not putting this off, we're not waiting to the 21 days limit. We're getting started on this very quickly. If you signed up in the business, you can sign up 2 people, right? Everybody can sign up 2 people. So, and then if you can't, if you're signing up people that can't get their 2 people, you're very frustrated with your team, nobody's getting their 2 people, maybe shift your focus to not talking people into the business. But if they're gonna be consumers, we have an amazing preferred customer program. That way you're building your preferred customer base and you're recruiting people that really want to do the business. Because I know in the past, I've been in this industry 7 years, I've been frustrated a lot of times by recruiting people that really weren't interested. They were just consumers. So really focus on those people that can bring in 2 people into the business, duplicate that action, and you're gonna make a lot of money. That simple process, 2 people that get 2 people.
Example 4, 3287. And so we were talking about okay, thank you. So these were just examples to try and show how the different parts of the comp plan work together to create income. And I am fascinated with numbers, so these things fascinate me. But we felt like it's important that everybody that's a leader in the company understands the basic, simple steps to focus on to build your income and build your teams. So with that, I will turn the time over to Nick and to Jeremy.
We're talking to Mark, and what's so cool about those numbers is that the main reason they wanted to do this meeting here was to help you guys figure out how to maximize the comp plan, okay? When in this industry, there's a lot of people out there that say that our company has the greatest comp plan. Every time I hear those words, like, who's ever heard that? You know, that's been in the industry. Every time I hear those words, it makes me want to puke. Because I don't think there's such a thing. Every comp plan creates different behaviors. As a distributor, as a leader, because you all are leaders in here, it's your job to figure out how to maximize that comp plan. And the main reason for him to show those numbers, and for this whole round table today, is to help you all go maximize the comp plan, but help your team maximize the comp plan as well. Those numbers that he was showing, 7 to 12%, basically you can earn off of your personally enrolled group, those are awesome. Okay, but it comes down to helping you guys figure out how to go get those numbers, okay? As we know, like Karen said, it's about 2 getting 2, right? We have the front end part of the comp plan, which is the enrollment pack bonuses, the differentials, our fast start. And we also have the dual team commission, which is known as a binary commission, okay? That's a part of the comp plan. Now, early on in this comp plan, that's a bigger part of our payouts, as you saw right there, right? But as your numbers start getting bigger, you need to start creating balance. That balance comes within 2 legs. 2 legs in the binary, but equally or more important for the long term is building at least 2 good, strong legs when it comes to the unilevel, our residual pay plan. Okay, so the key is, you don't necessarily want to focus on one part of the comp plan, build stability. And what I like about this comp plan is it does create balance. It drives you creating the right behaviors, which is going to create a long-term sustainable business for yourself. There are comp plans out there that are really great. You can make a lot of money, but they don't necessarily create the long-term behaviors which we want to create here with this company. The one thing that really excited me personally when I sat down and started learning about the comp plan and what Lamia had created with the individual who wrote the comp plan, all the behaviors they wanted to create were for creating something long-term sustainable. And it goes hand in hand with what Mark was talking about when creating products, right? Don't just go create something that's a sales hook. Create something that's going to last. It's going to stand the test of time when you get someone who's a doctor and wants to go analyze your products and your ingredients. It's the same thing in the comp plan, okay? So you do want to focus on the upfront commissions, but also build with balance, build with stability for the long term.
I would like to add, thank you, Nick. The interesting part about this also is when you look at it, you dissect it down, what we're really doing is we're getting paid to do activities, right? Whether it's recruiting, whether it's supporting, whether it's launching, whether it's training, right? Or attending events, or unifying as a leadership board. And when you break down any comp plan, I agree with Nick, I can make any comp plan look amazing, give me the percentages, and I'll make a percentage make you millions of dollars. But the bottom line is, what are you incentivized to do? And if you have a comp plan, and I don't know how many people in here have been ever been in network marketing before? Raise your hand. How many people in here got enrolled and never saw their sponsor again? Okay? Whose fault was it? Yours or the sponsors? Sponsors. No, it's the problem with the company. Think about it. It's the company's fault. We're not putting the behaviors in the comp plan to sustain the enrollment. You follow me? So a lot of people get a network team to recruit those people. We have a code to bonus. You're going to get paid more money. Help your personals. Help the people you brought in. Guess what? There's a matching check. You're going to get paid more money. Okay? So it's about what you do more than what you get. Follow me? So remember that. You know, I love what Nick said. Even Karen said, don't worry about your check. All right? Just go out and get busy. But get busy in a smart way. Know the comp plan. Know where you have to put your efforts. And draw that tree out like Lamia did for us in Phoenix. Where's the missing circles? Go focus on that spot. Okay? Let's help others help others. And then you're going to get paid. And, you know, like this comp plan promotes you to get one on your left, one on your right. Help them do the same. That's the simplicity of it. But I want to encourage everybody in here, because you're all leaders, I want you to go get 5 or 10 people. Okay? Don't stop at 2. Go get 5. Go get 6. Go get 10. Let them stack. Go get building momentum. Because what's going to happen, you're going to come to me in 2 years and say, thank you for telling me that. Okay? Because when that unilevel starts paying you in a large sum, it's because you have 10, 20, 30 people on your first level. Right? Instead of 2. So just heads up, work for the future, don't work for the present.
It's where they pay, right? So in the front end, we've got a great fast start, or FOB bonus, whatever you want to call it. That 21-day, where you can earn an extra $300 is really, really. I think it's a big deal for most people, because what is it? Like Nick, if you think about it, and Jeremy, what is most people's issue is they don't know that they can win. Or they're not sure that they can do this. So these types of bonuses helps them get that little extra win. They make a few extra dollars, and then it starts to give them more confidence. This plan is very well balanced. I like the unilevel. The unilevel for me is very, very important, because I'm in network marketing for residual income, and not so much for the fast start type money. Now, in the beginning, when you're fairly new to the business, that extra $100, or maybe you sponsor 3 people a week at a $500 pack, and you make $300. And I understand it's a lot of money, right? But for me, that would be seed money. That's how I was taught. That's to fill up the gas tank, or pay for the auto ship, or maybe it's business cards, or whatever it's going to be. We just have a great comp plan. I mean, and the fact that we've set it up to where we kind of teach the behavior to put a couple on each side of the dual team or the binary. I really love much against the binary. Years ago, I couldn't stand it. Because I did well in stair steps and unilevels, and of course, once I got to the binary and really started to enjoy it, obviously it's just a great plan, especially if you're going global. Right, the Asians and things like that. So we have a great comp plan. We have a very well balanced. Is it perfect? I don't think there is such a one. I wouldn't focus a lot on it. What Karen said and Nick said, and I'm going to say it, and everybody here is going to say it. Go get 2, help them become team builder, and then help them all become team leader. In the old days, they used to say, Mike, how do I get to diamond? Or here, let's say, how do I get to emerald? And they've been in 2 weeks. And the idea is, well, let's focus on how to get you to team leader, or team builder, team leader. We want people to inch through the plan and work their way up. You're going to automatically get to the emerald level and above. And I wrote it down. Well, we are the first fruit, this is my words, of an initial foundation that breaks a company towards becoming a legacy company. You matter. Kirby said that. And we are perfectly positioned and poised. And, me and Michelle have been here really early. So it's interesting to see what's starting to happen now. They're coming. Nick, would you agree that they're coming?
Absolutely.
And they are the players. And it's not just about the players. of course, it's about everybody, right? So the goal, I think, is to find out and identify early in your business who wants to play ball. And those that don't want to work really, really hard, love on them, care for them, answer their phone, see how you can help them. As Karen said, maybe they maybe should have been customers at first. But just focus on baby steps, fine-tune to help them get to help
Make
them.
make the money. And I know you guys are so wise to focus on the backside residual income, and I'm trusting that that's what's going to show up. And but right now we're just seeing only these few weeks unfolding, and so what we have to start with is fast starts. And I didn't know anything about binary. I don't know anything about fast start. All I knew was John Canada said, "I'm getting in," and so then I asked him to talk to somebody about the comp plan. Does this work? He said, "Yep." I'm like, okay, well then I better sign up then because I'm enrolling you. I said, what pack do we get? And he says, the big one. You always get the big one. Duplicates faster, volume goes faster. That's all I knew. And so that's all we do. And because we do that, we're profitable. And that's what we teach our team. And the teams that duplicate that, we share what the options are for people. Of course, they make their own decisions. But if you're going to maximize your profitability, show them what's the way to maximize the profitability. It's better for you, better for them, better for their teams. The volume builds faster. So that's a trick for us. It's just do the ranks and maximize your profitability by picking the bigger pack. Other than that,
Please do me one favor, and I'll explain why. Don't give away your personal enrollments to your team. Okay? It's one of those things that I've seen it numerous times, and it comes from a place that everyone's trying to help the other people on the team. I know why it happens. It's big hearts. They want to start getting momentum going. They want people to have success and activity. So people go out, get their two, go to Team Builder, and we'll start letting other people enroll their signups. Well, there's a couple of things that are going to go wrong with that. You're duplicating horrible tendencies that are going to duplicate over and over and over and over and over. And what you're duplicating is people not maxing the comp plan. Because at the end of this, you're going to need, to go diamond, you're going to need 4 leaders in your left and your right leg, personally enrolled. Okay? That's not going to happen if you're handing away all of your personals along the way, because you don't know who's going to be the leader out of the people you sign up that direction, because you have to look at the future. So the big takeaway for that, if you could just get this out there to have people stop giving away their signups, because it's going to hurt them, and the duplication is not going to be great for your team. So,
Thank you, Ray. Okay, Kara. Karen talked.
He's on time today. For me, really and truly, it's just act now, think later. I mean, I never really looked at the comp plan. I might have skimmed it or what have not, but I trust Mark and Nicole. I follow them anywhere. And so the comp plan is not important in the beginning. It's really about just keeping it simple for your people, and the simpler it is, the faster you'll grow.
I've always focused on doing the next right thing, and I've always really truly believed that if you do the right thing, the money will come. So I've never been money focused or money driven, comp plan driven, or anything like that. And I do know, and I've seen it time and time again, that third-party validation is huge. So it's good to play dumb. Even if you know the answer, say, you know what, that's a great question, let me get you on the phone with Laura. And then Laura can do that thing. That's a great question, let me get you on the phone with Sarah, or Nick, or Jeremy, or Karen. So really use your third-party validation and consistency. So whatever your goals are, if you can commit to reaching out or connecting with 2 people a day, then do it. At the end of the month, that's 60 people, or 5 people a day, 10 people a day. Just stay consistent and utilize your outline. So that's all.
I agree. The thing I think about whenever people ask me, they're just like, well, what is your comp plan like? What did you need all this stuff? I'm like, here's the thing, you're never gonna completely understand it. I mean, let's just be honest. There's so many different attributes that really make up a comp plan. So instead of focusing on the comp plan, if you worry about the people plan, that's what's gonna take you much further. So just like Sarah and everyone else who really said is that people join people, not companies. So if you start the culture off with talking about, hey, this is an incredible culture we have here. We have incredible products here. And the money is incredible too. You leave with that and the expectation, you're not gonna have to worry about your retention and things like that because people are so excited for the culture and the products that the money is a bonus to them.
The Mark talk, what does he talk about, right? Products that people want to purchase. When he talked about Taka and the drink space globally, it's massive, right? And we have incredible products that people want to be just consumers of. Not everyone sees the vision of the opportunity. And we have a customer club that drives that right behavior that is going to reward people heavily for going to get customers. And so the majority of the growth of the company, not the majority, we have a bunch of customers. We do have a lot of customers. But a lot of the growth has come from people seeing the opportunity. And why is that? Because we've been focusing on it. But when you focus on customer acquisition, which when you guys really get your mind around what customer club is, not only the value it brings, but when I say value, the value it brings that people use in our products, but also the value it brings that you build your business, okay? This thing's massive. Customer club, I think, is going to be the biggest part of our comp plan when we look down 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road. And those leaders that focus on that and grow customers and grow customer acquisition will absolutely crush it. Because the difference between you focusing on the customer club and not is growing by addition rather than by growing by multiplication. So you look, all you team leaders and above, because everyone who's in here is a leader, look at your team, okay? And everyone always tells me how many people they have on their team, right? It's 10, 20, 30, right? Well, take that and times that by 5, or times that by 10, or times that by 20 for each individual person on your team. And when you focus on customer club, it's going to naturally drive that for you. And so how do you go and how do you double next month? Take everyone on your team and tell them to go get 2 customers this next month, right? And the customer club part of the comp plan rewards that and drives that right behavior. So I want to make sure you hit on that. The leaders that focus on that are going to win in the end in this compensation plan. So when Mark said, hey, we're looking at this comp plan, the numbers that we're getting are awesome, they're incredible, especially this early on, is great because as the residual kicks in, as dynamic compression kicks in, as customer club kicks in, those numbers are going to get more and more and more and more fun. So, so glad that Mark gave everyone up here the opportunity, some great tips, some great pointers. There's no way, you don't have to be a numbers person, you don't have to be a comp plan person. It's there, the comp plan's built to drive the right behaviors. Go focus on the simple things that lead you to the goal.
Them become a team builder. That doesn't mean you give them the people, as Ray pointed out, but you help them. You are there side by side with them. Their success is your success. That's the way this comp plan was created. This comp plan was created exactly because a brilliant gentleman by the name of Tony Michael listened to Lamia and wrote the comp plan that she is passionate about building, how she builds. And it's, you get somebody in, you help them become a team builder. You get somebody in, you help them become a team builder. Then you are a team leader. Lamia went to Switzerland and taught that to a man. Martin, stand up just a minute. I'm going to just say hello to Martin. Martin is my very good friend from Switzerland. Martin is in our business because Mike Hagan talked to him for an hour a day for 30 days. And when I went to Switzerland and met Martin, I'm like, why are you in Globallee? He's like one of the most successful network marketers in Europe. And he's like, because Mike Hagan talked to me for an hour for 30 days. So Martin leaned over to me and said, because of that concept that Lamia is so passionate about, bring somebody in, help them become a team builder, then bring somebody in here. He sponsored somebody, you said May 5th, and since May 5th, this person has sponsored 7 people who have become team leaders. So that's 10 days. 7 people she personally sponsored. And did you say each of the 7 are team leaders?
7 team leaders in
10 days. 9 days, 7